Very first coffee with Kristin.
Sorry, can we do that again? All right, I'm ready now for reals.
Welcome, Iris, to our first coffee with Kristin. We're so glad that you can be here. So, Iris, we have been lucky enough to know you for a while. Can you tell us what you do for Live and Learn?
So I am a client coordinator. Well, I was a client coordinator with Live and Learn until recently, which I'm in the middle of transitioning to a new position.
But there was one in particular that I wanted to talk about, and that's Sara. So would you mind giving me a little background, or for the listeners, who Sara is and what she does?
Yeah, Sara is one of my clients. She's actually no longer in the program, and I'm going to tell you guys all about it. But Sara is a woman that came into the program in 2019, towards the end of 2019. And she was struggling with some of the things that we see Live and Learn women often struggle with. She had experienced domestic abuse. She was struggling with homelessness and, establishing employment, transportation, food security. So when she came in, those were some of her barriers at the moment.
Yeah, that sounds kind of like a typical Live and Learn client when she comes in and she has to overcome all those barriers that you were talking about. So what did you work with her on the program? What part?
Yeah, so we did a lot of things. We would meet with her monthly. She was able to come up with a 6-month long-term goal that she wanted to achieve. So we decided to break it down every month to smaller steps. So we call them action plans. So each month we would create an action plan, and her ultimate goal was to have employment. She wanted to have stable income. She had recently moved from out of state, so she didn't really know all of the resources available in Arizona. The other biggest thing that we wanted to work on is housing. When she started, she was actually homeless and working with a shelter that helps them stay at different churches in the community. Not the best situation for somebody. We didn't want her to be in that situation, but that's what her situation was at the time. So she was staying at different churches.
And she had to change every night, right? When she stayed at those churches, and she had to pack up during the day and then go to different church at night.
Yeah, they had a lot of different restrictions, and they also had curfews in place. So it would depend on kind of how many people were needing a place to stay that night. And so each night could be a different place that they were staying. And oftentimes if she didn't meet the curfew, let's say she had a job interview and she couldn't get back to the church by 7 p.m., that meant she couldn't stay there. So she had to stay in her car, which, when she would tell me about her car and it was oftentimes breaking down, didn't have an AC. Imagine sleeping in a car.
No, in the summer, it's hot all the way till 3 a.m. So
yeah, no, it was a really rough situation for her. She was so determined to change her situation. Sorry, I keep saying situation. I'm I need to stop.
No, it's true. It is her situation that she's in. So
yeah. So, every month she would come in, she would set up a different goal, 3 different goals that she wanted to work on to help her achieve her ultimate goal of having employment. We worked on so many different things, Kristin, and, she never gave up. You can imagine somebody in a situation like that, having experienced domestic violence, the mental health problems that sometimes arise from that, issues with your confidence and self-esteem that come along with that. But she never gave up. She was always very eager and willing to work on each and every single one of the things that we would discuss.
Little steps. What would be an example of a step that you would work on with her?
She expressed interest right away that she wanted to get into the medical field, and she thought that a caregiving position would be a nice way to start. To be able to do so, she had to accomplish a lot of little things. So, for example, she had to get a certification as a caregiver. She had to be first aid and CPR certified. She had to pass a fingerprint clearance as well. So those were the type of things we would work each month like this month, we're going to focus on your fingerprint card. Like, what do you need to be able to get that? We found that she didn't have a driver's license from Arizona. She had one from another state, and without it, she couldn't really move forward with that. So, maybe 1 month, one of the goals could be, hey, you need to get your driver's license here. This is where you need to go. Do you have the funds to go be able to cover that? And if not, how can we make sure that you have that?
Right. And so getting her to the driver's license, telling her what she needed to bring, if she needed extra money.
Yeah.
And was she working at this time as well, or she was looking for positions?
During this time, she was actively seeking employment, so she wasn't. So that's something really important to highlight, because somebody that really wants to get out of a situation like this, you need some sort of income to be able to do so. You need money to be able to job search, even to get to your local public library and use the computers. You need to have transportation. How are you making sure that you get all of your meals each day and things like that? So when we talk about generational poverty, and that's why a lot of people get stuck in that cycle. They just keep cycling around. You want to find employment, you are determined to get out of it, but you're missing a few resources.
What kind of changes did you see her go through during this transformation process?
Obviously we saw so many. She was able to get her caregiving certification, become employed. Once she started working, she was able to find affordable housing. So now she has stable housing. She has food security, which is so important for mental health and your physical health as well. So that's one of the changes that we saw in her, was her confidence just changed completely. Like she started being just more active. She started referring people to us, and the people that she would refer, she was actually coaching, if you want to call it that. She was actually helping them, checking in on them. She wanted to give back and help others just as much as she had received. So that was just so amazing to see. When she had her stable housing, she did financial literacy. Now she has a budget in place where every month she can make sure that, she can stay within her budget, doesn't have to worry about eviction as long as she stays employed, which now she has the skills to stay employed. So it's been wonderful.
And so is she working full time now?
Yeah, she's working full time in the community, and her goal is to continue her education, maybe potentially one day have her own caregiving center or home. So, she's gonna continue working, and, hopefully, I know that with her determination, she will be able to achieve that.
Yes. Sometimes it's just those first steps to build the confidence, get a job, get settled, and then start, going from there. And I love it that she's already giving back to the community, because that's such a great way to show mental health, and great way to show that you're feeling good about yourself, because you're able to give back to the other people in the community.
I think her story is a great example of how Live and Learn focuses on each individual as a whole. We don't just focus on one area. Let's make sure you have food stability, or just make sure you have that education piece, or the financial stability. We focus on each and every single area that is needed to break the cycle of generational poverty. I remember one of the referrals that we did was to a local partner to get an eye exam. And I remember her coming back from that appointment telling me, like, the doctor was so amazing. She treated me with so much kindness and respect. They identified a problem that, had been bothering her, aside from needing glasses, of course, that she needed, like, special drops at night to make sure that her eyesight wasn't tired, and, she could drive well, and the long-term health of her eyes. So, we focus on the women as a whole. And I think that we see that with each and every single one of our clients. We have steps in place to make sure that that's achieved.
That's great. Yeah, there's not a like a blueprint or something. Sorry. I'm getting choked up. All right. So, oh yes, let me have some coffee. So I remember her because it was before the pandemic. And when she first came in, even the way that she walked was kind of like, and then towards the end, she was like dressed in bright colors and always had a bright smile. And so you could even tell from outside looking in that she had changed a lot.
Yeah. When she completed the program, she was no longer relying on government assistance, which is something that we always strive for each and every one of our clients. So she didn't have to rely on SNAP benefits to have food security. She had affordable housing, she had employment, she had financial literacy skills, and that confidence needed to thrive.
All right, well, thank you. So thank you, Iris, for being here, talking to us about Sara and her journey with Live and Learn and how she overcame a lot of obstacles to become a full-time employee, financially secure in her own home, and now she's giving back to others. So thank you for all you did with her, and to Sara for all the hard work that she has done to get to where she's at. We're very proud of her.
Yes, congratulations, Sara.
Congratulations. All right. Thank you for tuning in to Coffee with Kristin. Today, our guest was Iris.